Hey everyone, Drew Creekmer here, Wealth Advisor with Creekmer Wealth. Hope you guys are doing well. In today's flash briefing, we want to talk about some current events that are going on that are causing some storm clouds to arise on the horizon and is leading to some concern for investors both here in the United States and globally. And so we put together a great piece that kind of walks through what those current events are and provides some perspective to keep in mind. And so I want to remind everyone that no matter what happens, volatility in the stock market is the norm. The past 18 months where we've seen equity markets continue a very orderly march to all-time highs is abnormal. That's a great thing for our portfolios, and we love that. However, that is not the historical norm. The historical norm is pullbacks. In 14 of the last 20 years, the S&P 500 has seen a pullback of 10% or more at some point throughout the course of the year. However, we so often forget that because the end result at the end of the year is typically very strong. And when you zoom back even further, 3, 5, 10, 15 years and look at a chart of the S&P 500 or really many or most equity markets, what you'll see is a pretty orderly march upward. But we so often forget the intra-year pullbacks and sometimes the panic or concerns that went along with those pullbacks. And so it's really important to have that long-term perspective first and foremost. Second, it's really important to make sure that you have a plan. Make sure that you have a diversified portfolio. Make sure that you have a set end goal in mind. For someone who maybe is retiring within the next couple of years, well, your end goal and your subsequent diversification probably needs to be more conservative because you're going to need some money in a short period of time. However, if your end goal is 20, 30 plus years down the road, you can stand some volatility for the ultimate achievement of those goals. And so it's really important to make sure that you know what that end goal is. Make sure that you then have a plan to help you achieve that end goal no matter what happens in the market. And, I would really encourage you, third, do a check-in. Check in with where your portfolio is at. Check in with your advisor. Say, hey, are we over allocated to any one place? Or do we need to reduce risk in this moment of time? For those of you that work with Creekmer Wealth to manage your portfolios, I can tell you that we've been managing risk very, very carefully over the last 6 months. We've gone about it systematically to take some profits off the table that we've experienced over the last year and move them to very quality areas inside of equity markets, as well as some other more safe havens. Now, we've been preparing for volatility because markets have come so far, so fast, that volatility is to be expected going forward. And so we want to make sure that we were prepared before volatility hit, and we have been. Now, we made a recent rebalance at the start of August that really prepared portfolios for that moment. So for those of you who work with us, don't worry, we are on top of it. If you have any questions, by all means, reach out to us. We'd love to talk about your unique individual situation and if we need to make any changes at all. For those of you that don't work with us, I would encourage you to do a check-in with your portfolio. Say, hey, do I have too much in one area? Or even ask yourself, you know what, I don't know what my plan is. If you don't know what your plan is, I think you're setting yourself up to have some unexpected volatility and some pullbacks within your own investments. And so I would encourage you, do a check-in. And if you need some help or if you want a free analysis, reach out to us. We'd love to do that for you. So at the end of the day, remember, storm clouds are the norm. Volatility is the norm. But if you have a plan, you can weather any storm. And so I would encourage you, take a look at what your plan is. And if you need to chat with someone, we would love to talk with you. Thanks and have a good one.